Welcome to weekly Forex forecast from Forex Trading Wizard Academy. This is Forex Wizard, a trading coach. I'll be doing a complete multi-time frame analysis of all the hottest currency pairs and indices that you'll be looking to trade next week. The list is not longer, but still I'll put a timestamp in the description area. But I suggest you to watch all of them. As you have seen in our previous weekly Forex forecast, most of the pairs did exactly according to the analysis. Now this is the second week of the month. As NFP has been released, we have seen that the market started to trend. Especially we can see that gold and GBPJPY trending very nicely. We will be looking at all the instruments that you can see on the list, how we can find trading opportunity in the upcoming week. Now before I begin this weekly Forex forecast, I would appreciate if you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. So without further delay, let's begin this week's weekly Forex forecast. Okay traders, so let's begin first of all with DXY, as DXY will give us clear direction about the most of the USD pairs including gold, and then we'll be looking at other instruments as well. Now looking at DXY, first of all I will be looking at the highest time frame, looking at the monthly chart to see overall direction in the market. Now this is the monthly candle, and so far we have seen that the price has broken this swing high on the monthly and has got a rejection with the NFP and expecting the price to drop further as there is an imbalance in this market. We can see a strong impulse on the monthly, back-to-back 3 months of bullish move, expecting now DXY to come down for a deeper pullback. So more from the monthly we could see downside in the upcoming week. Now if we look at the weekly chart, we can see that there is a weekly bearish candle. Now this bearish candle has broken this significant weekly resistance level. We look at this is a huge bullish move here, created this high, and this weekly candle has broken that resistance, and we have seen that later there was a rejection forming a bearish candle with a long wick at the bottom, expecting this week DXY to come down to fill that long wick at the bottom. Now if we look at the daily chart to see how the market is doing, now from the daily we can see that there is a drop followed by a pullback with a long wick candle on the daily time frame. Now this long wick candle is a complete rejection from the top, might give now DXY another bearish pattern here, as we can see that the market has broken down, has gone up for a pullback, has got a rejection, expecting DXY to come down to create a new lower low. Now if we look at the intraday time frame, we can see that there is a long wick here on the intraday time frame, and the price has got a very strong rejection, pullback, a very strong drop, deeper pullback. Now with this pullback, the market in fact tested this significant previous support with the NFP. You saw that there was a spike here, tested this liquidity zone, this support here of this reversal pattern as a resistance, and we have seen another sell off. So in fact the market formed this as an order block. From this order block the price has formed a typical head and shoulder here, and from that zone we saw a long wick candle, expecting in the upcoming week DXY to remain bearish after initial pullback. So looking at further lower time frame, from the 1 hour we can see a head and shoulder formation in that area. We will be waiting with the market open for another pullback or liquidity gap can give DXY another momentum for this drop again to the downside, and as soon as we will find suitable entry, we will look for going short on DXY with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at euro dollar. As we are expecting DXY to remain bearish, we could see that bounce on euro dollar. Now let's look at the monthly chart to see overall direction in the market on euro dollar. We can see that from the monthly there is a bullish candle. We have seen that after back-to-back 3 months of drop this month. So we can see after breaking this low, the market has got a bounce to the upside, and from the monthly expecting euro dollar after initial pullback to go up to fill that long wick at the top. Now looking at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly there was a weekly impulse followed by a drop, has broken this support level, has broken this important liquidity zone, and we have seen a rejection signaling potential further upside on euro dollar. This is the weekly candle that has long wick at the top, and this week expecting euro dollar to go up to fill that long wick at the top. Now looking at the daily chart, we can see that there is an inverted head and shoulder formation on the daily time frame with a long wick rejection, giving a potential for euro dollar to bounce back up again, as we can see an impulse correction with a long wick rejection, expecting another impulse to the upside on the daily time frame on euro dollar. Now looking at the intraday perspective, we see a long green bullish engulfer. There was a red candle. This is a complete manipulation followed by a complete rejection, giving euro dollar a high probability in the upcoming week to remain bullish to the upside. Now looking at the 1 hour chart, we can see that a visible inverted head and shoulder, as this inverted head and shoulder still not tested this zone. There is a void here, which is an imbalance in the market, with the market open expecting either gap open or penetration to the downside, forming an inverted head and shoulder. As soon as we see that euro dollar has formed a bullish pattern, we look for going long with a high probability trade setup with our students. Now let's look at GBPUSD. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have now. Looking at the monthly chart on GBPUSD, we can see that from the monthly, like the euro dollar and DXY, as they are similar USD pairs, we can see that GBPUSD also, after testing this monthly support level, the market has got a very strong bounce to the upside. Now with that bounce, expecting GBPUSD to go ahead and fill that long wick at the top. Now looking at the weekly chart on GBPUSD, we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is the weekly support level here. This is a very important level of support, a bounce, and we can see the market has broken that low, grabbed that liquidity, and then has got bounced to the upside with a liquidity candle, which is a signaling potential further bounce on GBPUSD, expecting with the market open to come down for a pullback and then to go ahead and to create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart on GBPUSD, we can see that from the daily perspective, there is an inverted head and shoulder, a clean inverted head and shoulder with a long wick rejection from the daily, with the market open expecting GBPUSD to come down again to fill that wick, or to fill some of the imbalance, and then to go ahead to create a new higher high. Now looking at the intraday perspective on GBPUSD, we can see that there is a bullish engulfer here, and with that bullish engulfer expecting GBPUSD to come down to grab liquidity to form that inverted head and shoulder clearly, and then to remain bullish, as what is going up is likely to go up. That's the law of trading. So with an initial downside, if we see that GBPUSD has formed that liquidity candle, prepare for a bounce. We will be looking to going long with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at dollar CAD. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have in this market. Looking at the monthly chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from the monthly, there was a back-to-back 2 months of bullish move, followed by there was a monthly long wick candle. Now this current monthly candle with NFP, we have seen that a very strong bounce with the weakness on CAD. The market has broken this monthly resistance, formed that long wick candle, and we can see that at the end of the week we saw initial rejection, meaning that we could see in the upcoming week further downside on dollar CAD. We'll be waiting to see how the weekly candle has formed. Now you can see that from the weekly on dollar CAD, there is a long wick candle. This is the resistance level on dollar CAD, and with NFP, the market has gone up, penetrated that level, grabbed that liquidity, and we can see that there is a long wick rejection, expecting dollar CAD to come down to fill that zone on the lower time frame. Now looking at the daily chart on dollar CAD, we can see that there is a long weak candle. Now with the weakness on DXY that we are expecting, we can expect dollar CAD also to come down again. Though it is a bullish candle, there is a long wick at the top, but at the same time we can see that this candle has got rejected from a very important liquidity zone. As the market has grabbed the massive liquidity, we can expect dollar CAD to come down to create a new lower low in that area. Now looking at the intraday perspective, we can see a big red candle with a very strong rejection on dollar CAD, and what we will be waiting in the upcoming week for an initial pullback to the upside, and then we will be looking to see how dollar CAD is dropping down. Now from the 1 hour perspective on dollar CAD, we can see that this is an impulse followed by a rejection, and that rejection, what I think that dollar CAD might go ahead and retest this level, expecting to drop down back to this support level again. As you can see, there was a long consolidation. This strong impulse has grabbed that liquidity, expecting dollar CAD to give us potential selling opportunity. As soon as you will find clear reversal pattern, we will be looking to short dollar CAD with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at EURUSD. Now looking at the monthly chart on EURUSD, we can see that from the monthly perspective on EURUSD, this is the monthly bullish candle. Previous months along with doji. Now this month we can see that from this level, initially the market has got a bounce to the upside, expecting EURUSD to remain bullish after initial pullback. Now looking at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly, after this doji, the market has broken that low, grabbed that liquidity, and has formed a bullish engulfer with a long wick at the top, and also there is a long wick at the bottom. This is a liquidity candle, expecting EURUSD to move up and to fill that imbalance in the market. Now looking at the daily chart on EURUSD, we can see that from the daily perspective, this is the daily impulse here, followed by a pullback. Now this is the daily low. If we look at this daily support here, there is a long wick rejection on EURUSD, expecting for this price to come down again, to retest, and then to bounce back to the upside to create a new higher high. Now looking at the intraday time frame here, we can see that like the euro dollar, EURUSD has formed a bullish engulfer with this red candle. The market has grabbed liquidity, followed by another bullish engulfer. Now what we can expect on EURUSD, for the price to come down, to grab that liquidity, and then to bounce back to the upside to create a new higher high. Now looking at the 1 hour chart, we can see that the market is forming an inverted head and shoulder in that area, expecting EURUSD again to come down a bit more to the downside, to grab that liquidity, and then to bounce back to the upside. This is where we will be waiting for potential bullish trading setup on EURUSD. As soon as you will find suitable, and you will be looking to go long with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at GBPJPY. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have in this instrument. As you can see, GBPJPY, we had initially a very strong bounce, and we had a successful trade during that live session, which is still running, expecting GBPJPY to give us another entry opportunity. Now let's see what kind of trading opportunity we may have with GBPJPY. Looking at the daily chart, first of all, let's look at the monthly chart on GBPJPY. We can see that from the monthly perspective, there is a long wick at the top on the monthly on GJ. It is a long-term bullish market. We'll be waiting on GJ for the price to come down and then to give us another bounce to the upside, as it is a long-term bullish market. Now looking at the weekly chart on GJ, we can see that the price has broken that weekly low. There is a high liquidity in that zone on GJ, expecting for this price to break and then to bounce back up as this weekly candle on GBPJPY is a very strong liquidity candle, and with that liquidity candle expecting for the price to grab and then to bounce back to the upside. Now looking at the daily chart, we can see that from the daily, GJ has formed a bullish pin bar. If we closely look at, we can see that this market this week has broken this low, which is a pure manipulation, broken that support and then has got a bounce to the upside, followed by, we can see that here again the price tested this support and has got a rejection, which is a sign of GJ to remain bullish for long-term perspective. Now looking at the intraday perspective from 4-hour time frame, we can see that we are already on a massive trade on GJ from this liquidity zone. This 4-hour candle is a pure bullish engulfer, cross that 10 and 20 EMA above. Now we can see that according to our TF strategy, GJ is still showing bullish pattern, expecting GBPJPY to give us another entry opportunity. Now from the 4-hour time frame, this is the intraday support here on GJ, waiting for the price to break, grab liquidity and then to bounce back to the upside to create a new higher high. Now looking at the 1-hour chart on GBPJPY, we can see that in this local time frame, this is the impulse followed by a narrow correction here. We'll be waiting on GJ to break that low, to come back down and then to give us another entry opportunity. As we are running a successful trade, I will be adding another position as soon as we see that GJ has broken that low and then has given us another setup according to our trend following strategy. Now let's look at dollar yen and then we'll be looking at gold as well. As you can see, gold currently trending very aggressively. Now looking at the monthly chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the monthly perspective, this is the monthly impulse on dollar yen, and we can see that this month after the candle open, the price initially has gone up and then the price now is consolidating in that area. What I think that dollar yen, as we can see potential weakness on dollar and weakness on yen, we might see a bit of slower movement on dollar yen, but anytime the price is retesting this monthly support can give us another bounce on dollar yen. Looking at the weekly chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the weekly perspective, there is a bullish engulfer on the weekly on dollar yen. The price has crossed that low, grabbed that liquidity and form a weekly liquidity candle. Now if we look at the daily chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the daily perspective, the market has tested the daily 20 EMA, has formed a bullish engulfer with liquidity grab in it. Now if we closely look at on dollar yen, we can see that the price is respecting this support level, expecting dollar yen to come down for a deeper pullback and then to give us another entry opportunity. As this market has consolidated here long time and there is a very strong impulse here, we might see deeper pullback before we can expect it to remain bullish to the upside. Now from the intraday time frame, we can see that dollar yen, there was a drop, has gone back up. What I think that this market either might move a little bit in a sideway or we could see another wave of drop to grab liquidity before moving back to the upside. As there is a strong resistance here, we will be waiting for dollar yen to come down to retest this level and then to bounce back to the upside to create a new higher high. This is where we will be waiting on dollar yen. As soon as we see that it has dropped enough for liquidity grab, we will be looking to go long on dollar yen with a high probability trade setup. Okay traders, so let's look at now gold. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have in gold. Looking at again with the monthly chart to see overall direction in the market. Now from the monthly, we can see that gold is a very strongly bull market. Previous months, we have seen a full body green candle in this long-term bullish market. Followed by this month, we can see that after little pullback with the market open, gold has started to bounce to the upside. As this market currently in all-time high, there is no ceiling to it. We could see a further bounce on gold from the monthly perspective. Now if we look at the weekly chart, we can see that from the weekly there was a shooting star here and that was the starting of this bullish move. Previous week a strong bullish engulfer, followed by this week we can see that there is another bullish candle which is even longer than this. So this market is showing a very strong commitment to move up. In the upcoming week, even we could see a gap opening and then continuation to the upside, as it is a very strongly bull market. If we look at the daily chart, we can see that there is a bullish engulfer. Now this daily candle has broken this narrow candle's low, and we have seen immediately rejected with NFP crossing all this resistance level. Now if we look at the daily trend overall, we can see that with this impulse here, narrow correction, an impulse, again deeper correction, and we have seen the market now showing a very strong commitment to move up, as this is a high liquidity zone. What I think that we might see gap opening or initial pullback to retest this resistance as a support, and then continuation to the upside, as what is going up is likely to go up. That's the law of trading. Now if we look at the intraday time frame, we can see that the market, this is a starting of this big move, a very strong impulse, and this is the last days of trading week, a big long candle followed by last session a narrower candle. Now this is a very important liquidity zone, and the price might retest this support or even could break this low, and that could break to the upside again, and this support is quite significant as the market is in a strong bullish trend. Any break of this support or retest can give us another entry opportunity. Now from the 1 hour, we can see this is an NFP move followed by 3 hours of pullback followed by another bullish candle. So if we look at a very lower time frame on the 15 minutes, we can see that the market respected this 20 EMA nicely here, and there is a double bottom formation. The price has grabbed liquidity and bounced back to the upside. This is an order block, and I will be waiting for this price. Most likely could come back here again to retest this neckline, and that's where we can look for another entry opportunity. So this is the lower time frame. As you can see, this is an order block, and in that order block, if we look at this resistance level, which is turning support, I will be waiting with the market open for the price to drop down to this liquidity zone. And as soon as we can see the price has tested this liquidity zone, tested this previous resistance as a support, we will be looking to go long on gold with a high probability trade setup with our students. If you enjoyed this analysis, make sure that guys and girls, you smash the like button. And also if you want to trade all of them, gold, euro, dollar, GBP, USD, GBP, JPY, all the instruments that we are trading in Forex Trading Wizard Academy, you can find a link in the description area. You can visit the website to join us to be part of this trading community. Now let's look at WTI. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have in this instrument. Now looking at the monthly chart on WTI, we can see that from the monthly perspective, this is the monthly bullish candle on WTI, which is basically forming a very stronger bullish momentum. We have seen a bearish move followed by a stronger bullish move. Now this current monthly candle, we can see that there was a gap opening, and with that gap opening, the price has moved back to the upside, expecting WTI to retest this monthly resistance level. Now if we look at the weekly chart on WTI, we can see that from the weekly, there was a doji followed by another bullish candle, followed by gap opening, and expecting for the price to remain bullish to the upside to create a new higher high. This weekly candle has a long wick, a little bit of long wick at the top, which is basically a pullback of this bullish move, expecting WTI to remain bullish to create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart on WTI, we can see that from the daily, this is the liquidity grab followed by another liquidity grab here as well on daily. What I think that with the market open from the daily, as there is a red doji, any break of this daily low can give another opportunity to go long on WTI on the lower time frame. Now looking at the intraday perspective, there is a red rejection here, we'll be waiting on WTI to break that low, which is highly likely. As we can see a very stronger rejection, we could see break of this support, which is basically a daily support. We'll be waiting for this price to get an overextension in that zone. As soon as we can find WTI giving us that overextension, we'll look for going long with a high probability trade setup with our students. Now let's look at indices. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have in US30 and on Nasdaq. Now looking at the monthly chart on US30, we can see that from the monthly perspective, this is the monthly candle so far after this back-to-back 4 months of bullish move, almost 5 months. We can see that this month US30 coming down for a deeper pullback. This is the monthly candle. Initially we have seen a drop from this monthly support, has got a rejection to the upside. Now let's see from the weekly chart what we can expect. This is the weekly candle on US30. Though it is a red candle, we see that this is a long-term bullish market. Now in that long-term bull market, the price has just broken that weekly support level with only one long candle, which is basically a sign that the US30 might again try to bounce back up to the resistance level, as this candle is a huge long ATR, almost 1.5 ATR or more on that candle, that can give US30 a momentum to the upside to create a new higher high. Now looking at the daily chart on US30, we can see that this is a support level here on US30, and with this red drop, the price has come back to this support level, expecting US30 to drop further and to grab that liquidity. I think that the price might respect this support. As you can see, this is an impulse here, and the price has come back to that support level, has got a rejection. We'll be waiting on the lower time frame for another pullback, and as this market had a bounce from this important support level, we will be waiting to see US30 to give us another entry opportunity. This is where I will be waiting. As soon as we find suitable entry opportunity on US30, we will be looking to go long with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at Nasdaq. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have in this instrument. Now looking at the monthly chart on Nasdaq, we can see that from the monthly perspective, this is the monthly impulse on Nasdaq, followed by this month so far we have seen initial drop, expecting for the price to bounce again like the US30 to the monthly resistance before dropping further for deeper pullback. Now if we look at the weekly chart on Nasdaq, we can see that from the weekly perspective, this is the red candle with a long wick at the bottom, and we will be waiting for Nasdaq to bounce back up to the resistance level. As we can see already a long wick candle, expecting Nasdaq to come down for a deeper pullback and then to reject to the upside. Now from the daily time frame, we can see that from the daily perspective on Nasdaq, this is the daily chart, the price has broken that to this daily support level. We'll be waiting for deeper pullback and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high. Now looking at the lower time frame here on Nasdaq, we can see this is a very long-term support level. The market has broken to that support, and as the market has got a rejection from this level on the lower time frame, expecting for the price to come down for a deeper pullback to this support level. As soon as we can see the price has tested that support again, this neckline, we will be looking to go long on Nasdaq with a high probability trade setup. Now these are the instruments that you will be looking to trade. In addition, any other instrument coming along the way, definitely I will be posting analysis on the channel. Traders, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to press that bell button so that you are not missing out any of the content that I am posting every single day. In addition to that, if you want to trade all of them with us in Forex Trading Wizard Academy and also learn the strategy that we are trading, you can join us today. You can find a link below this video in the description area. Once you visit the website, click join now button, then you can be part of this trading community. Thank you for watching this weekly Forex forecast. I'll see you soon again, guys and girls, trading live together. Thank you and see you soon.